he was under investigation for a few of those, right? A few, nigga, not one, two, nigga. I'm talking about a few, right? Yono went to YA at a young age, man, for crimes that he was committing in Oakland. You know, he was really about that gunplay. So he gets sent down to Nellis, right? He was actually down there with Gunner, and he was down there programming with the Southsiders, right? So he was involved in a few riots down there. You already know what it is, man. John the Hitman. Diesel, man. Let's go. Straight to it. But before we get going, bloop, hit that notification. Bloop, subscribe. All that, man. You know what I'm saying? Fuck with it, man. Again. Back at it like a real trap addict, man. Come on, man. Let's go. Straight to it. So anyhow, man. So today on Oakland's Most Hated, right? We're going to talk about my homeboy, Yono, nigga. From 9-4. Yono. Vincent, right? Straight gangster, boy. So Yono is pretty much been around since the early stages, right? Of the Border Brothers gang in Oakland. His older brother was there before him, right? And those that know, his brother was shot and he was paralyzed, right? From the waist down. Yono went to YA at a young age, man, for crimes that he was committing in Oakland. You know, he was really about that gunplay. So he gets sent down to Nellis, right? He was actually down there with Gunner. That's crazy, huh? Gunner, as much as y'all motherfuckers hate Gunner been lightweight around, bouncing around here and there, right? As far as all his stories, though, nah. We know that a lot of that stuff is boo-boo, right? So he was down there with Gunner, right? And he was down there programming with the Southsiders, right? So he was involved in a few riots down there in favor of the Southsiders. One of his homies over there was from Florencia. And so when Yono gets out of YA, right? We get out around the same time, right? So now we're trying to demonstrate to each other who's letting their nuts hang, right? When Yono paroled from Nellis, right, he came up here with a semi-Southerner Southside type mentality, right? He was still rocking the Ben Davises, right, the Pendletons, right? He looked like a Southsider, to be honest with you. And he never really let go of that dress code, right? He kept the gangster all the way through. He was out there smacking shit, right? So Yono was terrorizing the town, boy. You know, pocket checking motherfuckers, man, and, you know, hopping out on motherfuckers and popping motherfuckers. He was a monster, right? And it's crazy because I don't know how he missed prison. He was also in that riot with me in Santa Rita County Jail when we kicked it off against the upstate Southsiders in Santa Rita on November 13th, Friday, November the 13th, Friday the 13th, boy. November 1998, the upstate Southsiders, we had a little riot in the unit, right? They wanted the whole unit to themselves. They didn't want to share the unit with us no more, right? Why? Because we was in there on that gang shit, man. Because we was in there talking hella shit. You know what I'm saying? So, mind me, Yono's 6 foot plus, right? You know, sturdy, kind of lanky a little bit, but he was sturdy, right? And he had hands. He had hands for being tall. He had stupid hands, right? So he proved himself by whooping on a few motherfuckers on the street. And he had proved himself a few times with this, right? So there was no question about his character, right? And I hung out with him on several occasions, right? We didn't got down, you know what I'm saying? We didn't, so, but Yono ended up passing away in 2006, right? He threatened somebody. He told this person that when he see him, he gonna kill him, right? So when he seen dude was already ready. I don't want to go into details of what happened, right? But old boy came with a chop, man, and sprayed him down, wet him, knocked him down, right? Took his life. Real street shit. In-house, pretty much. In-house beef. It's always in-house beef, nigga. It's always more in-house beef than going against your op. So, Yono gets knocked down by somebody, you know, from the circle. Dude gets busted, does 15 years, and gets out. He back out on the street. You know what I'm saying? Just like that. Just like that. Back on the streets, man, fucking with it, right? So, you know, because they really couldn't give him a life sentence because, you know, it was more like a self-defense type of shit, I believe. And the DA knew what kind of person Yono was, right? He was under investigation for a few of those, right? A few, nigga, not one, two, nigga. I'm talking about a few, right? So the DA was gonna side with the victim regardless.
I mean the defendant.
Because they knew what kind of monster Yono was, right? But Yono was also a kind-hearted person, right? He was not a bully. And when I mean a bully, he wasn't going around taking advantage of the weak. He was going up against other motherfuckers that was on his level, right? That's where you separate the gangsters from the suckers, man. A lot of gangsters like to prey on the weak. That's no bueno, man. But Yono wasn't like that. Yono was going in on, you know, and anybody that's involved in the gang shouldn't be preyed upon. If you're running the streets, nigga, you need to be on point, nigga. Don't be no sucker, right? But what was fascinating about Yono was that he had all the opportunities to be a big time baller. He didn't have habits. He didn't get high off the hard shit, right? He wouldn't do silly shit. Like he wouldn't get caught up doing silly crimes, right? But I asked him, I said, bro, why don't you get your money? He said, man, fuck that, man. I want a gangbang. Straight up. But at that time, prior to that, we had been going at it with 54th for a while, right? So one of the primary enemies was Che from 54th, man, Northern. I put his name down as Oakland's most hated, right? Because he was one of them dudes, right? So Yono is one of them famous gangbangers, man. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about Oakland, Chicano culture, Chicano gangbang history in Oakland, Yono's name is gonna pop up. You know what I'm saying? Because he was, you know, part of the stuff when he was running the streets in Oakland, California. Anyways, man, so Yono was a heavy hitter, man. You know what I'm saying? And we went on a few of them, man. We went on a few skits, man. Is that what the youngsters call it? Skits? Right? But I never known Yono to go around pressing motherfuckers that didn't have it coming, right? Every time I seen Yono get off was because they had it coming, right? And he had his crew. He had, just like I had my crew on 39th, I was the influential dude over there on 39th. Yono had his crew. He was the influential dude over there. He had his dudes behind him. My nigga Gordo from North Oakland. He had his little crew over there, North Oakland clique. So, you know, there's a lot of dudes that have had influence over other gang members, right? And that's very hard to do, man. Not everybody not everybody qualifies, or not everybody has it to where they can become leaders of any type of gang on the streets or in prison, right? You gotta have You gotta have that gangster in you, man. You gotta know how to talk, man. You gotta be convincing, right? You gotta be believable, and you gotta lead by example. To be honest with you, because the niggas that don't lead by example, they get their covers pulled later on. Oh man, that fool was a sucker this whole time, right? But yeah, Yono led by example, man, and he actually jump started a few cliques over there, man. You know, real gangster, man. You know, later on we're gonna go into some stories of some of the shit that he was involved in, right? Right now we're just giving you a brief understanding of who Yono was. But he definitely was that dude, man, out of Oakland, California, man, 94th, man. And like I said before, he was down in Ellis. He did the county. He missed prison by the grace of God. But had he been alive right now, honestly, he'd probably be doing life in prison, straight up. That's just the way life is, man. Anyhow, with that being said, man, you already know what it is, man. John Diesel, man. Rest in peace, Yono, man. He was one of my pedals, too. Gone.